Good morning, everybody. I really appreciate that you're being on time this time. Thanks for your punctuality. And today we are resuming the last topic, which was about the 4 myths that we read and also listened it. And we have a little discussion about certain aspects of myths and also about the content of the ones that you have in unit number 1. So right now, I just want to ask you a few questions about the previous class, and I want you to unmute your microphone to participate. Good morning, the ones who are on the chat. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so I was saying, the first question that I want you to respond is, what is the concept of a myth? So what is a myth? 2 or 3 participations, please. You can unmute your mic and tell me. What is a myth? Hello, hello. I have 99 participants in here. At least one. Hello?
Traditional story.
Okay,
A
tell me.
traditional story. Traditional story.
All right, thank you very much. So it's a traditional story, right? That has been passed on from generation to generation. Well, in those years, it was common for people to try to understand the world around them by telling this kind of stories that involve fictional characters that they got particular characteristics. And remember that the purpose of a myth is to tell a hidden truth, the origin of the world, why we're here, and all that. So another question, what are the characteristics, the particulars of the characters in the myths? Anybody?
Fantastic.
They're fantastic stories. Thank you, Carlos. What else? Another characteristic of the characters. It sounds very repetitive, but it's not. Characteristics of the characters in the myths.
Supernatural.
They are supernatural. They got a supernatural origin. What else? Mystery, said Monica. Yeah, mystery is involved. And the last one, the characters are non-human. What did you say, Levi?
Sci-fi, I think.
Kind of. But remember that sci-fi got different characteristics and technology is involved in myths. So someone said in the chat, let me check. The characters are non-human. Yeah, they got different creatures, gods, heroes. Sometimes heroes are half gods, so they're demigods. So a demigod, it's It's a being that is half God and half human. And they're very common in the Greek, well, in many mythologies. All right, so now we're gonna try to record certain or remind certain aspects of the 4 myths we read last class by playing a game. So I'm gonna share my screen with you so you can see the game board. Okay, if you were with me last year at the end of it, you remember this game, right? I have divided the group, this huge group, into 3 teams. The first team are gonna be is gonna be made of students from room A and B, team 2 C and D, and the last one E and F. So remember, don't get confused. If you don't know the answer, the next team won't have the chance, because this game doesn't provide a chance to the other team to respond the previous question. You cannot. The question is for you and just for you. All of the questions are related to the myths, so you can remember important aspects, important details of the creation of these words according to these stories, no history stories. All right, so team A and B, or team 1, students from A and B, could you choose a number, please?
Number 3.
Okay. This is easy one. For 5 points, from the 4 myths that you read, look at the picture. What are the characters in the picture? Who are the characters? It's an enormous, massive cow, and there is a frozen god or giant. No, he was not a god. It was a giant only. Do you know the answer? You have 15 seconds to respond it. Who are the characters in the picture? Students from A and B. A hint is in the 3rd myth. They are included, they are mentioned in the 3rd myth.
Bull and men.
No. They were before in the narrative. There were some sort of pioneers. They were the first living beings in that world. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it was the giant, the frozen giant Ymir, and the cow Athumla. Sorry, no points for you. Second team, students from C and D. Choose a number, please.
7.
7. In the myth from ashes and tree, what is Yggdrasil? Yggdrasil. What is that? In the myth from ashes and tree. And three, not three, 3.
A god?
No. It's more than that. Well, from my perspective. For 20 points. It's basically in the last character.
Teacher.
Hello?
Tree of life.
It's a tree of life. Let me see. Well, there are more information that I want you to go deep, but right now for this game, for the purpose of this game, I will accept it. So it's a mighty tree whose roots grounded three worlds: Midgard, where humans live; Asgard, where the gods live; and Nifel, which is the land of the dead. Very good. I will accept it. You have 20 points, team 2. Now, team 3, rooms A, E, and F.
9.
9. All right, the same myth. When Ymir was slain by Odin, Billy, and Bee, his remains become the earth. Can you describe how? Remember that every limb, every part of his body became the earth, but different things from his body. Remember that Ymir was slain or killed by the gods Odin, Billy, and Bee. It was like some sort of sacrifice. And from his body, everything was created. Now describe me how. For 25 points, that's not bad. It's in the third paragraph. Well, actually, I think, yeah, it's starting the third paragraph in your books. Five, four, three, two, one. So you're not ready for the quiz, right? So from Ymir's blood, seeds emerge. From his bones, mountains were created. From his flesh, the earth, and from Ymir's hair, plants grew. You have to keep this in mind. Okay, no points for you. Team 2 is leading. Now team 1, you have a chance. Team 1, team 1.
Number 5.
5. For 20 points, the same myth. Well, this myth is very popular in here. Who was the first god in the Norse mythology? Not methodology. Mythology. The first god was created by the cow at Humla. The cow linked for
Odin.
the cow linked for 3 days. Odin was born after. At the beginning, when there was only the frozen giant and the cow started licking
Sure.
the ice.
I'm not sure how speak the name.
Oh yeah, I
but,
got the answers. Tell me.
Argor Gelmer?
Yeah, but let me see in the chat. Danielle, Hilder have the answer. They have the answer in the chat. Yeah, it's Buri. You're right. So he was the first god. It was created by the cow. The cow licked the ice for 3 days, and it shaped a man, and that man was the first god whose name was Buri. Excellent. You got 20 points. You tied up the score with team 2, but team 2 has the chance to get ahead of the rest. Team 2.
12.
12. 15 points. Lucky you. Now you're leading with 35 points. Team 3.
14.
14. For 15, oh, now we move to a different myth. What was the first place on earth in the Yoruba myth? The Yoruba myth is the African one, is the first one. What was the first place on earth in the Yoruba myth? for 15 points. That is easy peasy. That was the first one.
Teacher, the first place on earth was Ife.
Aha. It's incomplete. Is Ife? Ife what?
Ife
Aha.
Ile.
Ife ile. That means white house. And there is where the name of the myth come from. Excellent. Ife ile. White house. Right, excellent. Thing one?
Number 1.
Excellent. This is the second myth, the Native American one. What did the white men call the path of the parent spirits? So remember that at the beginning, all Almighty God created the path of the departing spirits. But the white men call it differently. That was
The
it.
Milky Way.
Yeah, not like the chocolate, right? The galaxy. Remember that the galaxy is the Milky Way. I think that the name of the chocolate comes from here, Milky Way. Excellent. You have tied up the scores with Team 2, but Team 2 got the chance to keep leading this game. CD.
8.
8. For 5 points, in the same myth, the moon was placed in the west and the sun in the east. Is it true or false? The moon was placed in the west and the sun in the east. True or untrue? Ten seconds. Five, four, just guess.
Maria Jose says true.
Let me see in the chat. Says she said true, but with question marks. And Isabella says true as well. All right, we're gonna believe them. We have no choice. It's true. You got it. 5 points for you. And you're still leaders. You are ahead of the food chain. Number 3. You still have chances. Remember that this game have some power-ups. 10. Okay. Another true or false, but this time for 15 points. This is from the last myth, a giant world. The bottom of the egg became the sky. Oh, that question mark shouldn't be there. But I will fix it. The bottom of the egg became the sky. True or false? Remember that inside
False.
the cosmic egg, there was a giant. You said false. Are you sure?
Yeah, false.
Okay. Yes, it's false. The bottom became what? Because remember that the egg split in 2 parts, and the sky was made of the top, and the bottom created Earth. Excellent. 30 points. Team 1. Team 1, team 1, team 1.
6.
6.
6 for 20 points. In the Yoruba myth, there was Orishanla, who was punished by Olorum. You gotta tell me why. Why was Orishanla punished for? Remember, Original did something that he was not supposed to, and Olorum found it out, and he didn't like it, so he punished Original. Why? Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. 10 seconds. In the White House, let me see, I have answers in the chat. Just because. Yeah, Josué Celasha, but there must be a because. Remember that Olorum commanded Original to do something. Original molded some figures that became human beings, and Olorum inflected life with his secret powers. And Original felt jealous of that and did something inappropriate.
He give them life. No.
Yeah, all of them did, but Original could not. So that's why Original spied Olorum to discover the secret of inflicting life. But he couldn't, because Olorum, the All Almighty, find it out, and he put Original into a deep sleep. He put it to sleep. So no points for you, team 2.
15.
Okay. For 15 points, as a birth gift, Morning Star made the first rainfall on Earth for his daughter. True or false? Yeah, that question mark should not be there. That is in the Weddings in the Sky, the Native American myth. As a birthday gift, or as a birth gift, Morning Star made the first rainfall on Earth for his daughter. True or false? Or just he did or no, he didn't? Because they were, no. Easy, just tell me if he did it or not. Did he?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Let me
True.
see.
Yes.
Okay, true. Yes, he did. Congratulations, you have 55 points now. Let me see if now team number 3 has something to say about this situation. Which one?
2.
2. In 10, who created men and women in the North myth? In the North myth, who created men and women? Time is running low.
Odin.
Odin, let me see. Yay, you're right. He made men from what? He created men out of the ash and women out of the elm. Elm is a kind of tree. Okay, excellent. Now you have 40 points, but maybe power up is hidden in 4, 11, or 13. We don't know. And this is the last question for team 1.
11, teacher.
11. Wow, we're gonna take 20 points out from team 1 or team 2. Tell me, who
Team
are you
2,
gonna?
Team 2.
Team 2.
Team
They have
two.
more. They have more, right?
Yes.
Yes,
They
team
have
two.
more.
Into
Excellent. Now you're the leaders. Congratulations. Team two, maybe there's another power up hidden right there. We never know. Don't be hopeless. 4 or 13, team two?
4.
4. But you see, you were very lucky. You have won 20 points. You are in the same situation as team one. Team three? Well, you don't have no choice. You have no choice. You have won 50 points. So that means that you became winners. You were very lucky, guys, at the end. All
Easy
of you
vote.
get extra points. You see? Congratulations. So the moral of the story is that you need to read and reread and pay more attention to certain details of the myth, because next week you have an evaluation. But it's not because of the evaluation that is coming, right? It's because you want to learn some more about mythology. It is a very interesting topic, very interesting, especially the North one. Okay, so then we're gonna continue. Ya ven, robar el puente. No, stealing is not good, Alison. Stealing is not good. But tell that to the politicians, right? Stealing is not good. So now let's continue with the previous presentation. We read all of this. In the second one, anybody wants to help me with the first paragraph, the characters descriptions? In the second myth, weddings in the sky. Please, somebody.
Me, teacher.
Please.
Tirawa Atius, God who created all things, morning star, male principle, and evening star, female principle.
Thank you so
The
much.
paragraph 2. No.
Please. Now, let's take advantage of your participation.
Okay. Morning Star was mad at Evening Star because she placed obstacles between them. He threw a ball of fire that dried the water, and so earth and rocks were rebelled. Eventually, they got married and have a daughter who later married the son of the sun and the moon. After many amazing events occurred in the earth, people celebrate the thunder ceremony.
Thank you so much. So we have some characters here. The moon and the sun. Well, we're not included because they're not main characters. Here, who are really important to mention are Tirawa Athius, morning and evening stars. So at the beginning of everything, Tirawa Athius created the galaxy, or the Milky Way, or as they call it, the path of the parting spirits. And he placed the moon in the west and the sun in the east. And also two main principles. Those principles are like some sort of gods because they have extraordinary powers, morning star and evening star. And the male one was the morning and the female one was the evening star. You have to take that into consideration. Do you remember where were they placed? I mean, in the galaxy, they also have some places and powers. Do you remember where was the morning star placed? In the east, in the west, in the north, in the south? Does anybody recall? Anybody? You can also chat it if you remember. where were the morning and the evening stars placed in the
In the
galaxy?
west,
Who was in the west? The evening or the morning star?
the evening star.
Yeah, thank you. The evening star was in the west, so that means that the morning star was in the east. The evening star has power over the wind, the thunder, lightning, and clouds. One day, a morning star wanted to flirt with the evening one, but she just refused because she said that the origin of the things was not ready. I mean, the time hasn't arrived. The time for creating everything hasn't arrived. So the morning star gets so mad and threw a ball of fire to the water where the big serpent lived. And so water and earth were split. So this is the way that that separated land from earth. When the morning star got mad because of evening star's rejection, it threw a ball of fire that separates everything. Then when they got married, they got a daughter. They have a daughter. And the daughter of the stars married the son of the sun and the moon. And then as you have read and you have paid attention to that, many things start flowing on earth. Do you have any comments or any important details that you want to bring out about the weddings in the sky myth? Nope. Questions, comments, contributions? Okay. So then this one, I need another reader. Someone who help me out, please. From ashes
Me.
entry, please.
In the beginning, there was no heaven on earth. Heaven or earth. There was only a fountain in the middle of the abyss. From a cloud, a frozen giant, Ymir, and an enormous cow named Audhumbla descended to earth and started the creation. Buri, the first god, was born. He became the father of Bor. Bor fathered the first Aesir gods, Odin, Billy, and Be. Odin, Billy, and Be slayed Ymir.
Thank you so much. So in this myth, you will find more details. So at the beginning, they live in a frozen area, and in the abyss, there was only a enormous fountain. In that fountain flow different rivers. That was everything that there was. A fountain where some rivers emerge. And then from a cloud, from an enormous cloud, a cow, a massive cow, and a giant, but not just a giant, it was a frozen giant. They descended to earth and they started the creation. So like I said during the game, the cow at Humbla started licking the ice and it created Bori, the first god. It created him in 3 days. In 3 days, the cow created the first god. Then the first god fathered Bor. Bor is another god. And Bor fathered the Aesir gods, who were Odin, Billy, and Be. So when this god slayed Ymir, so it killed him. So they killed him. So his body limbs, his remains, his body parts created everything like we could read in the game. So do you remember how? From his blood, what was created? From Ymir's blood, what was created, guys? Do you remember that?
The seas.
The seas, yes. From his bones,
Mountains grew
uh, and from his flesh,
the earth.
The earth.
And finally, from his hair.
Potted plant.
The plants. Thank you very much. So then Odin, Billy, and Bea start creating something else. Odin created men and women. They created from ashes and tree. That's why the name of the myth. From ash, men were created, and from the elm tree, women were created. Billy, a grand human being with mobility, whereas B gave them the speech. So we are able to speak because of Billy and able to move because of B from his intervention. And also Odin organized the light and dark, and he created day and night. And also he created the three words. Can anybody mention the three words? And remember that was in the game that Yggdrasil, the enormous tree, grounded these three places.
Midgard, Asgard, and Niflhel.
Thank you. So who lived in Asgard? Who lived in Asgard? Thor.
The god,
Yeah, like Lourdes is saying, Thor, the gods. Thank you so much. And in Midgard, who live in Midgard? Humans. Yeah, thank you, Rodrigo. And in Niflhel, the dead one, the spirits. And this place was guarded by Hel. So Hel, very appropriate name for a woman who takes care of Hel. Hel watches Hel. Who is Odin's sister? Odin's sister Hel watches the Hel. Okay, so and the last one is the giant word. Because the class is almost over, I'm gonna read it for you. This is basically a summary. There are more details that you really need to go over them so you don't forget them for the evaluation. But like I said, it's not for the evaluation, it's because you want to learn some more. A cosmic egg came to the world. Inside the egg there was Pangu. Pangu was a giant. When the egg hatched, the top part became the sky and heaven, and the bottom became the earth. The giant inside the egg was called Pangu. One day he felt tired and fell asleep and then died. So be careful when you go to sleep because you don't know if you're gonna get up again. He died in his sleep, and his body, like in the previous myth, became all the living things on earth. Pangu's spirit lingers the earth. So if you have more questions or anything, we're going to clarify them next class. For today, that's been it. That is it. Thank you very much for your participation. It's always appreciated. The class wouldn't be the same without you. So then, thank you very much.
You
Thank you,
teacher,
teacher.
bye.
Bye.
bye,
Teacher.
teacher.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.
Bye,
Take
teacher.
care.
Goodbye,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.